It's been just over a year since I did my last DJ room tour, so I thought I'd make a short video showing some of the updates, changes and records that I've bought over the last year. You'll see there's quite a lot more records on the floor. These are records that I've bought recently, most of them second hand, and they stay on the floor until I've familiarised myself with them and organised them. And then once I've catalogued them on Discogs and played them a few times, I'll move them from here and then put them up into their proper location in the baskets. Most of these are second hand and I've bought them from different shops in Scotland and also some from Spain. The shops I go to in Scotland is a good shop called Groucho's in Dundee. It's mostly LPs they sell, but they have a lot of old dance, house, hard house, techno records that if you know them, they let you go through the back, and there's probably like 10 to 15,000 old dance records, so I spend a lot of time in there. I also go to shops in Edinburgh and Glasgow, and that's just for new techno, house and things like that. I also shop online in Juno. I've bought a lot of my recent techno from Juno, and also they've started repressing some old school break beats, remastering them, so I've bought a lot of them. I'm still actually waiting for them to come. I'm not sure if this was in my last video, but I got some isolation foam for the speakers. I actually bought 2 pairs of Dali Spector speakers with the intention of replacing these ones in here, upgrading them, but when I tested them out I wasn't very happy with the sound. They're very clear and bright and sort of crisp, and I didn't really get a good mix out of them, so these old speakers here, which are relatively cheap, they're Eltax Millennium, so I've had them for about 20 years. They've got a more muffled sound and it's less fatiguing on the ears when you're mixing than these more modern speakers that are very clear and can be quite harsh. So I actually sent them back, so I've still got these speakers here. I always said that I'd replace them when I blew them, but after 20 years I've not blown them yet. So now I'm hoping I don't blow them, because it'll probably be quite difficult to get something of a similar sound. I think I've just got really used to them, so is my friends, so here's hoping they last another 20. I've bought some new hardware. Well, it's not new, but it's a Korg ES1. I had as a sampler, a drum machine sampler. I actually had the ES1 Mark II when it first came out. It's a different sort of body, it's a metal, same instrument, but it's got a metal outer casing, and some of the pots are a bit better. But I wanted one of the old ones as I sold the other one, but it was more of a restoration project, as this one was advertised as not working. It was in quite bad condition. So I've had this just about a year, but I've only recently took some time out to repair it, clean it and fix the broken parts, so it's all working now, so I'll probably get around to using that at some point. I'm not sure if there's anything new up here. I bought a Monster DJ Go. It's just a little portable thing, just for mixing on the beach, or I do a lot of travelling, so I just chuck it in my bag. It's not going to replace turntables or anything, but it's very small. You can kind of see it on the side there. It's like almost like 2 phones put together with a little crossfader. It's got an auto sync button, but it doesn't work very well, so I just manually beat match it, which is fine with me. A Technics stereo here. I think I mentioned in my last video that I was replacing the pinch rollers on the cassette deck. I finally got round to replacing the rewind pinch roller, as I only replaced the forward. So they're both working now, forward and reverse, so that's happy with that. The Newmark PT1, a few more stickers on there than last time. Yeah, it's been travelling around with me. I'm thinking about possibly getting the reloop spin as a scratch with my right hand on the record. So it's pretty awkward with the sort of the layout of this. It's quite difficult to do that, so I'd practiced with my left hand on the record, which I just can't get used to. So I think the reloop one's a bit better orientated for people that scratch with the right hand on the record, so I might give that a go. I also bought a Technics 1200G. It's not for mixing, it's just for listening to records. So that's a fantastic turntable. I've got another room that's just for listening to vinyl. So I'm very happy with the Technics 1200G. It's a handmade turntable from Japan. Also got this Technics bag recently. I've never owned one. I've always wanted one. I didn't feel like a real DJ until you've got a camouflage Technics record bag. So this came a few days ago. It's quite nice. Bit for your headphones, your styluses or something. I think it holds about 60 records. So I'll get around to using that at some point. What else is new? Oh, 7 inches. Bought a lot of new 7-inch records recently. I'll try and do a little 7-inch mix sometime. It's mostly 80s Jack House and some 90s house. All radio edits, so it's a bit different mixing. I'm trying to organise them out here. I've not catalogued these yet or practiced anything, I've just cleaned them up and sort of organised into 80s, 90s and similar house and techno. But I'll try and get around to that at some point. Cassettes, still buying cassettes. Got a nice little drawer for my cassettes now. So all the mixes go in here. And also, when I got my Technics 1200G, I wanted to measure the stylus weight more accurately, so I bought some scales. These are stylus scales here. I'll just show you them briefly. Basically, you put your stylus on here and it gives you an exact reading of the weight of the tone arm. But it's quite interesting to see. I've set these up at 3.8 for these orthophone styluses. But it's quite interesting to see how off the counterweight is. The scale they've got in there isn't that accurate, so now that I've got this, I just set up my DJ ones as well. It's not as important for your DJ turntables, but for your audiophile decks it's quite important because they're at 1.8 grams. These are 3.8, much different. And I think that's about it really. I'll make another update next year. Hopefully have some more records, some more equipment. I don't know if there'll be more records in here because you can't really fit any more in here, but there'll certainly be more in the house that are stored away. I tend to rotate them round quite a lot because I've probably got about 50% more in other rooms from what you see here, so occasionally I swap them round when I get bored of them. And I've still got a lot of records that I've bought over the years and not got around to listening to yet. Maybe 400 I've still got to get through. They've been from second-hand shops and I've bought collections of people, so I still need to get through some of them. And that's about it. Thank you very much for watching and subscribe.